All right, we're going over the definitions. We just looked at input and output, and now we're going to take a look at word. A word is a collection of characters. The simplest way for foo to get foo to evaluate something as a word is to put quotation marks in front of it. Foo also recognizes numbers as words. Okay. Yeah, and you can use an opening and a closing bar to make a word that contains spaces. Okay, reporters may report words, but they may also report lists. Okay, and we're going to talk about lists in a second. Commands never report words or anything else. Okay, but commands can have words as input, right? So let's see. So if we say show hello, the important thing to note, so hello is a word. The important thing to notice about this word is it starts with a quotation mark, and notice it doesn't have an ending quotation mark. So the way that this is interpreted by foo, the way foo understands this stuff is if let's disregard this because this is not an instruction. This is just something that foo gave us back. But if we look at just instructions here, you notice that instructions start with some letter of the alphabet and end with a space. So foo looks and says, okay, I see there's a letter there. Let me go until I find a space. And then I go, okay, there's a space. So that means FD must be a procedure name. Okay, so always if he finds like some letter of the alphabet or something, he's going to say, ooh, that's a procedure. He's going to try and go until he finds a space, or maybe like an end of line, like for home. If he just finds the end of the line, he says, okay, that's my instruction, or that's a procedure name, because it starts with a letter of the alphabet. Okay. This guy, when he sees a quote, he says, oh, this is not a procedure name. This is just some piece of information that another procedure needs to use. Okay. I mean, if you do something weird like hello, he's going to say, I don't know what to do with hello. Because clearly, quote hello is just a piece of information. You have to tell me what to do with it. Okay, I can show hello. I can announce hello. You know, there's different things you can do with that. But when foo sees that quote, he says, okay, that's a word. And again, since he's using either the end of line or the quotation or a space to say that we're done, you know, gathering characters here, then once he gets to a space at the end of the line, he says, okay, that's the information that I need. Okay, so he doesn't need a closing quote. He doesn't need another quote at the other side. And in fact, if you put a quote on the other side, he's going to get confused. So see, he says, oh, you wanted us to show hello quote, so he shows hello quote. Or if you say hello like this, he says hello quote, because that's what he thinks you want. Okay, so that's that's that kind of word. Now there's also, as a convenience to us humans who are used to using numbers without quotation marks, the designers of Logo decided to say, well, if it starts with a letter of the alphabet, we'll assume it's a procedure name. But if it starts with a number, then we'll say, okay, that's a number. Okay. What happens if I say show 5, 6? If I say show 56, it shows 56, right? If I say show 5, 6A, then he thinks that's a procedure name. Okay. Oh, so you can have a procedure name that starts with a number if it then has a letter in it. So if it's all numbers, then Logo will say, oh, that's a number. But if he sees number, letter, then he says, oh, this must be a procedure name. And he looks it up and sees if he knows how to do it, and here he says, nope, I don't know how to do it. All right, so if it's starts with a quote, or if it's all numbers, right? And I don't think you can even say like 56,000 with a comma. And let's see. Yeah. Oh, it says it shows show 56. So yeah. So don't or I think like a point is okay. A decimal point's okay to use. Yeah, it knows what that is, but don't use a comma. It gets confused. Okay, and if you end up putting a letter in there, it's going to think it's a procedure name. So if it starts with a quote, or if it's all numbers, and you use a decimal point appropriately, you can't use like extra decimal points, because again, if you use extra decimal points, it gets confused. But if you make it reasonably look like a number, either an integer or a decimal number like that, then it's also considered just a regular number, a regular word. Okay, so basically there's two main types of word. There's the quote hello, and there's the forward 5. Now there's different categories too, and there's you can read up on this. There's some documentation on it, and under like kinds of information or something like that, it's called. I think that should be in the readings and problems section. But so for example, you can say ask, or you can say talk to T1. Let's say if I have multiple turtles on the screen and I want to make sure that the one I'm talking to is T1. If I say forward, I want T1 to go forward, I can say that. Okay, talk to T1. But if I say talk to hello and there's no turtle called hello, it's going to give me a problem. So it's not going to like that as input, because that's not the name of a turtle. Okay, so there are different categories of words besides just like the alphabetic kind of words and the number words. Okay, but those are the main groups to think about, and then you'll come across other ones. Like I said, there's information on that in the readings and problems under kinds. I can bring it up here. Let me see. It's under. I think I have it here. Let me see if I can find it. There's going to be. I'm still working on the clicks here, so on the web pages and getting them all straight. But you should have clicks to a page that looks kind of like this, and somewhere there'll be kinds of primitives and kinds of information, and this gives you all kinds of details on the different kinds of words and lists that you can find in the vocabulary. All right, so that's words and lists. So a list is a collection of, so it gives you examples here of words. So hello, 25. Oh, yeah. And you can also have words. Sometimes it's useful, but I don't recommend it. If you can avoid it, I would not use these. But just so you know they're there. There's a bar. It's on my keyboard. It's right above the return key, all the way to the right of my keyboard. There's like a backslash, and then if you hold down the shift key, you'll get this like straight line. And you can have actually a word with spaces in it. And there are rare occasions where you want to do this. It's something to just know about in case something comes up. But in general, you want to avoid doing this. And in fact, actually, if I wanted to print out hello there, the way I would do it is as a list. Okay, so let's talk about lists. Well, we'll talk about lists in the next video.